A simple minor surgical procedure ended up taking a life. My mother's life. My father, a forensic medical expert, personally conducted the examination. The conclusion was that before the surgery, my mother secretly ate and drank, causing the surgery to fail. And neither the hospital nor the chief surgeon had to take responsibility. When announcing the results, my father's eyes were red, his voice trembling as he blamed himself, saying he was also responsible for this, for failing to watch over my mother before the surgery. But the chief surgeon was his favorite student. Her skills were absolutely beyond question. Everything seemed to be over, and I went to receive the body. But what I got back was a dried-out shell. Most of the internal organs had been removed. My father's favorite student, Tran Lan Lan, presented a document, an organ donation consent, supposedly signed by my mother before surgery. Seeing such a clumsy trick, I burst out laughing. The next day, I opened a nationwide live stream titled Online Anatomy Session by a Medical Professor. Only this time, the subject of the dissection wasn't a corpse, but a living person, my father's favorite student, Tran Lan Lan, the youngest professor at the medical academy, whose fame and popularity were unprecedented. The viewer count in the livestream quickly surpassed 100,000. On the cold operating table, steel gleamed under the lights. Lan Lan lay there like a pig, waiting to be slaughtered, naked with not a shred of clothing. Her limbs were tightly bound, her mouth gagged with cloth, while I wore full professional surgical gear, preparing to perform a live dissection. Realizing what she was about to face, Tran Lan Lan began letting out terrified moans. The livestream audience was also stunned when they realized the subject wasn't a corpse at all. A living person, isn't that too much? What? A real living person? I thought I was seeing things. Look. She's moving. This is too cruel. I can't watch anymore. Everyone took a deep breath. The atmosphere was extremely tense. But the most nervous of all was Chu Hexuan, my father, because the person I was about to dissect was his favorite student. Facing the camera, he craned his neck. His face flushed as he shouted at me to stop. What are you doing? Release Lan Lan immediately. Dad has already examined it. The failed surgery was because your mother ate secretly before the operation, causing reflux and suffocation. Her death has nothing to do with Lan. I raised my head and looked at his tense face, clearly displayed on the large screen in the lab. I sneered as the daughter of a prestigious medical family. Could she really not know the most basic rule? That eating before surgery is absolutely forbidden. Do you look down on my mother, or do you think I'm stupid? I picked up a gleaming scalpel from the tray and gently placed it on Lan Lan's bare abdomen. The live stream exploded again. This isn't an anatomy class. This is clearly personal revenge. Her mother died due to surgical failure. It's not like the doctor did it on purpose. Why do this? The forensic report already concluded it. The facts are clear, yet she still won't accept it. And even takes it out on the chief surgeon. What kind of person is she? Chu Hexuan is a renowned forensic expert, and even examined his own wife. He admitted it was the patient's fault. What more does she want? Her mother's death was just stupidity. Eating before surgery. Isn't that basic common sense? Exactly, a mother like that giving birth to a daughter. Who can still become a medical professor? Who would dare see a doctor in the future? The comments in the live stream mostly sided with Chu Hexuan, Feng Huang attacking me. I acted as if I saw nothing. Gripping the scalpel tightly, I decisively cut a line across Land's bare abdomen. The sound of skin and flesh being torn echoed throughout the live stream room. The audience could no longer stay calm, urgently calling to report to the police. She's killing someone. Quick, locate her. But they quickly fell into despair. Because my laboratory was located overseas. To track me would require countless complicated procedures. And that amount of time was enough for me to dismantle Lan. When I opened her abdomen, like unzipping a zipper, I looked at her coldly. Where did you take my mother's organs first? Probably the heart, and finally the complexion, right? That wouldn't be interesting at all. Let's do it the other way around. As I spoke, I raised the knife toward her eyes. Toward turned Lan's eyes at that moment. Chu HCC Neon finally couldn't bear it anymore. Wait. Dad has something to say. The knife stopped at the corner of Turn Lan's tear-filled frightened eye. In front of the camera, Chu HCC Nyan's face turned deathly pale, breathing rapid. He nervously swallowed, his temples damp. And cold sweat broke out. Your mother deliberately ate and drank before the surgery. Because she no longer wanted to live, she had depression. She didn't dare to commit suicide. So she found someone else to do it for her. Shu HCC Nyan's voice trembled. Mixed with sobs, every word seemed to bleed. In the live stream room, mournful words echoed quietly. Dad still didn't dare tell you. Your mother has had depression for many years. Every day was extremely painful. But Dad truly didn't expect that right before the surgery. She would choose such a desperate path. Chu HCC Nyan's tears fell, accurately striking the hearts of the viewers. Just listening made me cry too. Truly a great father. Director Chu endured so much for his wife and child. It's rare to see such a good man like Director Chu. Both a director and a forensic expert. And he loves his family. It's just a pity he encountered a foolish wife and a stubborn daughter. Am I the only one who finds it strange? If she wanted an injection, why not do it herself? Why drag the chief surgeon down with her? Exactly, the chief surgeon is really unlucky to encounter such a surgery case. The sarcastic remarks in the live stream room almost drowned me. But I laughed instead. I gripped Turn Lan's head tightly and coldly slashed at the corner of her eye, skillfully extracting the cornea, fresh blood bursting out, splattering viciously all over my face. The live stream room exploded again in madness and inhumanity. This kind of demon deserves 1,000 cuts and still not enough. Are you insane? Your mother committed suicide. Why vent your anger on others? Oh my God, someone! Hurry and save our poor chief surgeon. Now. Indifferently, I tossed the cornea onto the ground and stomped on it hard, until it was completely crushed into powder before feeling at ease. Meanwhile, HCC Neon watched through the camera, his face ashen like dead embers. He sprang up and slammed his fist heavily onto the table. You've gone mad. What must Dad say for you to believe? Let her go. Hurry and let her go. Seeing the respected director in such agony, the livestream viewers felt just as distressed. If no one stops this crazy woman, then the talent director Cho painstakingly nurtured will die miserably here. What a pity, that's the favorite student of the expert. Surely destined to lead the field in the future, yet now about to die in the hands of this mad woman. Director Chu must be heartbroken. Not just Director Chu, even I feel heartbroken. You crazy woman, let her go now. But no matter how they screamed, my blade did not obey. The tip of the knife slowly slid toward Turn Lan Lan's other eye. I let out a cold laugh as well. Still refusing to tell the truth. With my laughter, my grip grew stronger and stronger. About to pierce through the corner of her eye. Suddenly, a familiar voice filled with pain rang out. I looked up. It was Aunt Zhang, the woman who had served my mother for decades. To me, no different from my own grandmother. Aunt Zhang. I was stunned. The knife in my hand finally stopped. Aunt Zhang rushed to the camera, her face full of tears, holding a pile of antidepressant pills. She poured all the pills out before the screen in a rush, like rain falling down. Ein, your dad didn't lie to you. Your mother really had depression for a long time. The hand that had always wielded the scalpel with precision now began to tremble. For a moment, Turn Lan, terrified, sucked in a sharp breath. Tears as big as beans streamed down from the corners of her eyes. I stood upright, my eye sockets brimming with tears. But very quickly I regained my composure. Stubbornly wiping away the tears, my gaze resolute. I stared viciously straight into the camera at Madame Zhang and the others. How many benefits have I given you, and you still dare to betray my mother? She was someone you watched grow up. No different from your own daughter. I slammed my hand hard on the table. Madame Zhang's face turned deathly pale. She stammered, wanting to speak, but not daring to. At this moment, HCC Neon hurriedly cut in. I, you must learn to accept reality. Madame Zhang has already laid out the evidence right in front of you. Why are you still so delusional? I stared fixedly at those medicine boxes, so new that the seals hadn't even been opened, and suddenly laughed. A young lady from a medical family. Taught lessons from childhood. The very first being to cherish life. Since I was little, she always said to me that as long as you're alive, there is hope. That you must never give up on your own life. No matter when. How could someone like her possibly seek revenge? Speaking to the point of agitation, my hand moved with precision and gouged out Turn Lan's remaining cornea. Even though her mouth was gagged, she still let out a piercing scream. In my left chest, a heart dark red, almost black, thumped violently, as if it were about to burst out. The livestream room instantly exploded, driven insane by this brutal scene. A medical genius turned blind, truly pitiful. Why hasn't this lunatic been located yet? Hurry and save Dr. Turn first. Didn't they say your mother committed suicide? Why can't you understand human language? Are you delusional? Your mother committed suicide, yet you insist on finding someone else to take the blame instead of accepting her death, so you should die along with her and stop harming others. As usual, I ignored the comments, my eyes turning icy as they swept toward the camera. President Chu, if you still don't tell the truth, my next step will be to remove her kidney. Watching your beloved student become a cripple, can you bear it? The corner of my lips curled up, my eyes filled with danger and bloodlust. Chu HCC clenched his teeth, his facial muscles trembling uncontrollably. I kept smiling as I began the countdown. 19. 8. His face grew even paler. Why won't you let this go? Everything I said is the truth. 5, 4, 3. He panicked. I'll say it again. Release Lan Lan. 2, 1. I raised the scalpel, my gaze stopping on Turn Lan Lan's abdomen. Een, a hoarse and urgent voice rang out. My hand froze. Teacher. Why are you here? On the screen appeared the face I revered the most. Beyond all else, it was you who taught me how to hold a scalpel. You who explained the structure of the human body, and you who stayed up countless nights with me in the laboratory. The moment I saw you, the softest part of my heart was suddenly stirred. I slowly lowered the scalpel in my hand, tears blurring my vision. Een, you must not get agitated. Do you know what you are doing? If you harm her, it also means destroying your own career. The teacher was heartbroken to the extreme, leaning close to the camera, wishing he could personally stop me. I tightened my grip on the scalpel, my shoulders sagging heavily. Teacher, I no longer have a career. This surgery will be the final one of my career. After speaking, I raised my head to look at him, my eyes filled with unwavering resolve. Seeing this, the teacher helplessly smashed his hand on the table, sighing in pain. You're being too reckless. I'll tell you the truth. I also participated in the examination of your mother's death. It was indeed because she secretly ate before the surgery that led to her death. You have always trusted me the most. Have I ever lied to you? In the live stream, everyone also began to flood in to curse me. No. Even your mentor said so. All right, stop the insults now. The truth is the truth. No matter how easily you're deceived, it won't change your mother. You really have no sense of appreciation, just a lunatic. You're the same. Stealing right under our noses, this is already clear. It's nailed down. If she didn't inject it, who did? Enough, drop it. Release Dr. Trangia now. Tears welled up in my eyes, my throat tightening. I let out a cold laugh and looked into the lens. Teacher, how can I still trust you? Tell me, why did you have to deceive me? What secret are you holding? In his hands, the live stream room exploded again. Are you out of your mind? Mrs. Zhang was bought off. You were ranked at the top by her. Watching too many movies and gone crazy. Taken too many hormones. I tightened my grip on the knife, pressed close to Tran Lanlan's ear. We're about to remove your kidney, okay? Don't be scared, it won't hurt. My mother could endure it, so you can too. I smiled, stood up, and moved the knife toward her abdomen. Just as the blade tip was about to touch the red flesh, the teacher in the lens panicked. Yan Yan. How could you possibly not trust me? Then you must surely trust your own mother, right? These are her own words. You have to believe. My pupils constricted as I withdrew the knife. The teacher immediately pulled a phone from his pocket and played a video. In the video, my mother wore a patient's gown, about to be wheeled into surgery. Her face was pale, but her eyes, looking into the camera, were still gentle. Yan Yan. My precious daughter, there's something Mom has never told you. Actually, lately Mom hasn't been happy at all. The doctor prescribed many medicines for me, but I didn't take a single pill. I just feel that living is so exhausting. I'm about to go into surgery if I don't come out later. Don't blame the doctors. It's because I secretly ate before the operation. The video ended. I was completely stunned. Looking closely at every detail, I found nothing unusual. There was nothing out of place. That familiar face was indeed my mother. The voice was hers, too. The lip movements matched perfectly. Even her wrist wore the gold bracelet I gave her. It was truly my mother. The knife in my hand fell to the floor. I collapsed to my knees in helplessness. Before the lens, I reached out, wanting to touch my mother's face, frozen on the video frame. But all I touched was a cold machine. Mom, was it really intentional? You were so quiet, didn't you tell me? Why did my shoulders shake uncontrollably? Tears fell into the pool of syrup, splashing up dark red ripples. In the lens, Kuo Nyan sighed in surprise. Yan Yan. Now you believe it, don't you? Your mother is gone. I know you're heartbroken. I'm heartbroken too. But you shouldn't vent your anger on Lan. She's a student I painstakingly nurtured. Yet you destroyed her. Like this now, even I can't save you anymore. Not anymore. The people in the livestream jeered with glee. Too late, once you're wrong. Dr. Tran has already been blinded by you. What's the use of crying? Can it give Dr. Tran his eyes back? Catch her and execute her. Support the death penalty for this lunatic. Letting someone like this into society is too dangerous. Your mother was a lunatic, you are too. Both mother and daughter went mad and harmed Dr. Tran. At that moment, I wiped away my tears. From the pool of syrup, I picked up the surgical knife again and staggered to my feet. The very next second, I stabbed hard into Tran Lanlan's abdomen. I dug out her blood-red kidney and hurled it straight into the fish tank behind us. Inside were several ferocious, flesh-eating fish. In just a few seconds, they tore it apart, fighting over it, leaving only spreading red syrup stains. Tran Lanlan suddenly convulsed. Syrup seeped from her eye sockets. Her body thrashed wildly. I held the knife and sneered. Raising my head, I stared into the lens with a vicious gaze. Chu Huo Nyan, you deceived me. That video was fake. Chu Huo Nyan went mad. Eyes bloodshot. He punched the camera like a lunatic. Jiang Yan. Yan. Are you insane? I truly regret that year, that I didn't strangle you the moment you were born. The livestream viewers were even more horrified by what they'd just seen. Even the video personally filmed by her own mother was called fake. Indeed, a real talent. I proposed shooting her on the spot. This lunatic cannot be spared. I was already shaking at the shoulders. I let out a cold laugh. CHC Neon, you forgot one detail. My mother never called me Ian. She only ever called me 2G. From childhood to adulthood, always the same. I slowly twirled the knife in my hand, thinking about where to cut next. On Turn Lan's body. Chu HCC, Neon froze, but the netizens didn't believe it. Just because of a form of address, you dare claim it proves she's fake? That's seriously sick. Maybe it was just her changing the way she addressed me on a whim. Isn't that possible? Only I know that, since the day I was born. My mother always called me 2G, and I often joked and called her Old Zhang. That was a joy, only between mother and daughter. No outsider knew about it. In front of the camera, Chu HCC Neon tried to regain his composure. What can be proven by just a way of addressing someone? Eon, stop making a scene. Quickly let Lan go. Send her to the hospital. Even if she's lost a kidney, she can still survive. You might not even be executed. Hearing that, I burst out laughing again. I suddenly turned and cut into the remaining kidney of Turn Lan and tossed it straight into the fish tank. Now, is that enough for an execution? Seeing that scene, CHGHC Neon couldn't take it anymore. With a thud, he collapsed onto the ground. Still unwilling to accept it, he crawled back toward the camera, glaring at me with hatred. You crazy woman. Wait till I find you. I'll dig out your kidney and return it to my Lan. Seeing this, as he completely collapsed, the corner of my lips curled up slightly. Too bad you won't be able to find me. All you can do is panic. The livestream audience was in an uproar. International police are totally helpless. They still haven't found her. Haven't even been able to locate her. Are they freeloading? Just as the words fell, the lab door was kicked open from outside. Police with guns rushed in, immediately surrounding me tightly. Turn Lan was rushed off for emergency treatment. As for me, I was quickly escorted back to the country and taken into an interrogation room. Chu HCC Neon finally got to see me. He went mad and lunged at me, grabbing my throat and refusing to let go. You vicious bitch. Give Lan back to me. Give Lan back to me. He was bawling, tears and snot streaming, crying in utter misery, with no trace left of a director's dignity. The people watching the live stream also began to feel sympathy. His beloved student he had devoted himself to nurturing, spending so much time and effort, now tortured to half dead. Who could bear it? Time and effort could maybe be overlooked. What matters is that we've lost a brilliant doctor. I feel so sorry for the director. I also want to kill this lunatic. But I kicked CH2HC Neon away with one blow. My eyes full of hatred for him. If you love Lan that much, then when she dies, you should go with her. Seeing that Chu HCC, Neon and I were about to clash, the police hurried over to stop us. Zhang Yin, CHUHCC Neon, both of you calm down. Chu HCC Neon was persuaded by the police and finally sat down quietly. A blinding light shone straight into my eyes, even brighter than the lab lights. Two police officers sat across from me and began the interrogation. They asked why I wanted to kill Turn Lan Lan. I immediately denied it. I didn't intend to kill her, I was only performing live surgery. She took my mother's organs. So I had to take them back, piece by piece. The smile stayed at the corner of my lips as I said that. The two police officers looked at each other, not knowing what to say, when Chu HCC Neon pointed at my face and shouted, "Don't listen to this bitch's nonsense. She clearly wanted to kill my daughter." He was too emotional and almost let it slip. A flash of panic crossed his face. Everyone else overlooked that detail. Only I shrugged and sneered. That old foxbow shielding him. Twisting black into white, causing my mother to die unjustly. I tried my best to suppress my emotions. My hand clenched tightly around my pant leg, so I wouldn't rush forward and stab that bastard with a knife. The police also advised me to calm down. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my rationality as they asked again. "Are you his daughter? Why does one have the surname Chu, and the other Jiang?" I sneered coldly, and glanced at Chu's. "That's something you should ask him." "Dean Chu, do you still remember where your private hospital came from?" Everyone knows all of Chu Hidian's assets came from the Jiang family, and in the live stream, voices finally began to rise, saying Dean Chu lived off his wife to get rich. The hospital originally belonged to the Jiang family. But soon after, some people stepped forward to defend him, saying, so what if it belonged to the Jiang family? If the family was incompetent, then it should be handed over to someone capable. Dean Chu is very capable. He was just lacking an opportunity, and the Jiang family gave him that chance. Just because the hospital originally belonged to the Jiang family, should they now bite back and smear him recklessly, even resorting to violence against the protege carefully nurtured by the dean? Even his biological daughter carries the surname J. It shows how the Jiang family has oppressed their all this time. Boo-hoo, I feel even more sorry for Dean Chu and Dr. Chen. After clarifying my family relationships, the police said sternly, Zheng Yangyan, you said Chen Lanlin harmed your mother. Do you have evidence? My gaze darkened. I replied coldly, didn't you hear what I said? Chu Hidian and the people in the live stream all sighed in relief. Overjoyed, great. This bitch is doomed. Ha, she won't escape. Everything she said is just the ranting of a lunatic. And her live stream with few viewers is solid evidence. There's nothing more to say. Hurry up and execute her to avenge Dr. Chen. They couldn't wait to kill me. The police nodded as if about to pass judgment. Jiang Yang, you are suspected of intentional harm. We will now. Before he could finish, the door to the interrogation room was suddenly kicked open. A person rushed straight in. The police behind couldn't stop him in time. I'm here to confess. It was my teacher. He was panting heavily, but his eyes were resolute, as if risking everything. Upon seeing Chu Hidian, he immediately panicked. Old Lee, are you crazy? Stop causing trouble. Get out now. But my teacher didn't move. He only glanced coldly at Chu Zawinian, and said uprightly, comrades of the police, the evidence I submitted was fake. It was all done under Chu Zuanian's coercion. That video was a huge. Jiang Yan's mother never suffered from depression. Before he could continue, Kachu Hedian jumped up and threw a punch immediately. What nonsense are you talking about? When did I ever force you? Old Lee staggered after being hit, blood seeping from his mouth, but he didn't fight back, only spoke bitterly. Dean Chu, you never openly forced me. But I was already indebted to you when you gave me that video and told me to play it in front of Yan Yan in the live stream. Whatever you said, how could I dare not obey? After all, the only stain in my life was in your hands. Right after that, he burst into tears in front of everyone, crying like a child. For so many years, whatever you told me to do, I did. Both you and I know it clearly. Because back then, I was careless and gave a patient the wrong medicine, leading to death. It was you who covered it up for me. If you fall, my lifelong reputation would be ruined too. He collapsed onto the floor. His tears stopped, his eyes empty. As the most authoritative internal medicine expert in the country, I couldn't bear those consequences. His shoulders trembled as he slowly raised his head, looking at me with eyes full of pity. But today, if I don't tell the truth, the one destroyed will be Yan Yan. That girl is the #1 talent in the field. She cannot be ruined like this. Chu Hedian, Yusei Chunlan, is your favorite disciple, but Zhang Yan is also someone I taught with all my heart. How could I bear to see her destroyed? The teacher choked up. His trembling sobs left everyone in dead silence. I disregarded everything and wanted to rush over to help him up, but the iron chain tightened and locked me firmly in place. Facing this sudden reversal, the live stream room fell completely silent. Chu, he glared fiercely, raising his fist, about to strike old Lee. The police hurried forward to stop him. With a stern expression, Shu HCC Neon said, "We have reason to suspect that you fabricated evidence. Please cooperate with the investigation." As soon as he finished speaking, the handcuffs were locked onto him. Chu HCC Nyan's legs were also restrained. Right after that, a strange woman rushed over and knocked anxiously on the interrogation room door. Old Chu, Old Chu. Officers, let me in, I must see my old Chu. The woman kept calling him Old Chu, with great intimacy. The police realized her relationship with Chuch Si Nian was not simple, so they allowed her in. What is your relationship with Old Chu and Chu HCC Nian? She did not answer the police, but rushed straight toward CH2HCC Neon and collapsed into his arms. Old Chu, are you all right? Old Chu. Before anyone could react, she had already turned around and attacked the police. What right do you have to arrest our Old Chu? He's been wronged. She kept pleading for him, even kneeling down to beg the police to spare him. Just as the police were at a loss, Chu HCC Neon was so moved that tears fell. Xiao Mai. Xiao Mai, don't wait for me anymore. I can't give you happiness. If something happens to me, you must take care of yourself. The two knelt down, hugging each other and crying. The scene was extremely tragic. But I only felt nauseated watching the live stream, and gradually realized the truth. Chu, HEC Neon, has another woman outside. Unbelievable. Living off the Jung family. And drinking the Jung family's blood. Yet now acting out a tragic lover's drama outside. Truly disgusting. But some people disagreed. You're clearly mistaken. Adultery and murder are two different things. We should be talking about Jiang Yan's intentional murder now. That's the key point. Don't get sidetracked. Deal with the crime of Jiang Yan's intentional murder first. But I think their relationship is truly touching. Maybe this is real love. For 3 years, Director Chu has been oppressed by the Jiang family. Now someone appears to care about him and protect him. Isn't that something precious? The story was led off course. Although everyone still wanted to continue investigating my crimes, instinctively the focus shifted to Chu HCC Nyan's private life. The more people discussed it, the more fervently that woman acted. She pulled a ring from her pocket and raised it tremblingly, her eyes full of affection, as she looked at Chu HCC Nyan. Chu, are you willing to marry me? If you are truly detained, as your wife, I can help you. Take care of everything, help you look after your daughter, and Jiang Yan as well. The people in the livestream immediately caught the key point. Daughter and Jiang Yan. Doesn't he only have one Jiang Yan? Could there be another one? So it turns out Chen Lan is actually his daughter. So she was never any favorite student, no wonder he went so insane over this. If she were just a student, why suffer so much? Case solved. Chu HCC Neon really is a Chu HCC Neon hadn't had time to see that woman clearly. But I saw it all perfectly. I let out a cold laugh. She deliberately let everyone know that Chen Lanlin is his daughter. Wasn't her goal to push Chu HCC Neon into prison? Then pretend to be loyal and marry him, and swallow up all the Jiang family's assets. This woman is truly vicious. Chen Mai hurriedly explained, her eyes full of resentment toward me. Yet on the surface, she pretended to be gentle and kind. Yan, you can't misunderstand like this. Your aunt and your dad share true love. I absolutely don't covet the Jiang family's assets. But your mother is gone, and your younger sister is lying on the operating table fighting for her life? If even your dad is arrested, who will take care of you? Her words made me so disgusted that I frowned. Who is my younger sister? I don't need a scheming old green tea like you to take care of her. I narrowed my eyes, my gaze cold as sharp metal stabbing straight at her. What you're thinking, you know it yourself. Thanks to my hint, the people in the livestream suddenly came to their senses. Oh my God. This woman is truly scheming and vicious, a real old mistress. An old green tea bitch, taking advantage of the legal wife's death, trying to climb up and swallow all the assets. Jiang Yi doesn't need her care. She can handle the Jiang family's assets herself. It's not her turn to put on a show. But wait. Weren't they discussing the Jiang Yin intentional injury case? Why is it suddenly about this again? At that moment, a police officer led in a doctor wearing a blue-on-white coat with a worried expression. The interrogation was temporarily suspended. The patient is now in critical condition and urgently needs a blood transfusion, but the blood bank doesn't have enough blood. If there's a direct relative, blood must be drawn. It can be irradiated and used. Hearing that Tran Lan Lan was about to die, Tu immediately raised his hand. Me, I'm her father, I'll donate blood. As much as needed. He jumped to his feet, wanting to rush outside. But before he could take a step, Tran Mai pulled him back. Wait. Old Chu, let me go. You must preserve your health. Her voice trembled. But Chu Hak Nin only wanted to save his child. He forcefully shoved her away. What health is there to worry about now? Saving my daughter's life is what matters. I must go. He looked ready to sacrifice himself, determined to donate blood. The two struggled in the interrogation room. Finally, the doctor shouted loudly, "Stop arguing. Anyone with a matching blood type, go. The patient is blood type AB." Hearing this, Chu Hak Nin froze on the spot. He stood there dazed. In disbelief, he struggled to speak. But I'm blood type O, that's impossible. Doctor, you must be mistaken. How could Lan Lan be a... She's my biological daughter. I'm type O, so she should be the same as me. Chu Hak Nin went crazy. He lunged forward and grabbed the doctor's coat. But the doctor shook him off and cast a meaningful look toward Tran Mai, who was panicking inside. You should ask the child's mother about this. Chu Hak Nin suddenly woke up. He swung his hand and slapped hard. The sharp sound echoed throughout the interrogation room. You slut! How dare you lie to me? Tran Lan isn't my daughter at all, right? No, Tran Mai staggered, trying to explain. But the evidence was already clear. In the end, she could only push Chu Hak Nin away. Using donating blood for her child as an excuse, she fled straight out of the interrogation room. Only Chu Hak Nin and I were left inside. He collapsed on the floor like a pile of mud, his eyes dull and lifeless. Until the police officer's interrogation voice rang out. Chu Hak Nin, according to the records, you are the medical forensic expert for the surgery on Zheng Yan's mother. Now please clearly explain how this medical accident occurred. Before the words ended, Chu Hak Nin went insane. He crawled toward me and tightly grabbed my pant leg. Me. His aged face seemed to grow 10 years older, in an instant. Tears streaming down. Yan, Dad knows he was wrong. Dad truly knows he was wrong. Then he knelt and begged the police. Comrades, officers, this has nothing to do with me. It was all Tran Lan Lan's doing. Clearly my wife was scheduled for surgery the next day. But I don't know what madness struck her. She insisted on changing the surgery time. When my wife had just finished eating, she still deliberately administered general anesthesia, causing my wife to aspirate food into her lungs and die. Just because I thought she was my biological daughter, I protected and covered for her. Officers, I only sheltered her. That's all. At this point, his mind completely collapsed. He slumped to the floor and wailed in despair. Only then did the livestream viewers truly understand. My mother was the real victim. So that's how it was. Heartless beast, eating from the Jiang family. Drinking from the Zhang family. Yet keeping another woman outside. The wife didn't even know she was being cheated on. Instead, she even helped harm her own wife and child. We really misjudged him, a piece of trash. What a pity for Zhongyan. She was clearly a young female professor, the youngest at the top medical academy. If not for this incident, she could have trained countless medical talents. But now, everything was destroyed by this beast. This despicable and vicious man is truly disgusting. Seeing netizens finally stand on my side, I gently closed my eyes. My fate had long been sealed. But I would never let my mother die unjustly. Let alone, I myself didn't have much time left. After emergency treatment, Tran Lan Lan barely managed to survive, but would rely on dialysis for the rest of her life. Moreover, her eyes were permanently blind. Just after waking up, the first thing she did was scream to see Shu's. By then, he had already been officially arrested and could only enter the ward in handcuffs as arranged. To clarify the truth, the police asked everyone to stay silent. To hear the testimony directly from Tran Lan Lan. Because she was blind, she didn't know the police were around. The moment she grabbed Xuanyan's hand, she trembled with hatred and cried, "Dad! Dad, spare Zhongyan, that bitch, for me. She made me end up like this. I regret it. I regret that back then I didn't torture her mother cruelly enough. That mother and daughter are both bitches. Her mother is an old bitch, Jiangyan is a little bitch." Her whole body trembled with hatred. But what she waited for was not comfort, but a thunderous slap from Chu Zuinian. The real bitches are you and your mother. Chu Zuinian finally realized he had been deceived for years, and now wished he could strangle her with his own hands. Tran Lan Lan was slapped until she felt dizzy, her blind eyes dull and lifeless, staring blankly ahead. "Dad, why did you hit me? That little bitch did it for you too. For our family, I only wanted Dad to break free from her so Mom and I could enter the family. Don't you want us to reunite as a family of 3? That bitch suspected something and wanted to transfer hospitals. But I stopped her and negotiated with the chief surgeon. Then deliberately advanced the surgery date. She never knew about our relationship, haha." One confession exposed the entire truth. Livestream viewers erupted in outrage. "This is terrifying. We even thought she was pitiful before. Turns out she was the most vicious one. Blindness and dialysis are too light for her. Back then Zhongyan should have had all her organs removed. That would have been right. Oh my God. Such bone-chilling cruelty. She destroyed Jiang Yan's entire family. And now destroyed Zhongyan herself. Hateful." Chu Zuinian deliberately waited for Tran Lan Lan to finish speaking, then bowed his head obediently before the police. "You all heard it. I only got slightly involved in the appraisal. I wasn't the mastermind. It really wasn't me, it was this bitch." Hearing this, Tran Lan Lan struggled. Before she could ask anything, cold handcuffs had already locked onto her wrists. Later, Chu Zuinian went to prison. Tran Lan Lan was disabled for life. As for me, I was also sentenced to prison for intentional injury. In prison, I met Chuzwinian again. For the last time, he knelt before me. Choking with sobs, begging, "Daughter, Dad was truly wrong. Can you forgive Dad?" I didn't even glance at him, only replied coldly, "Unless you bring my mother back to life." Then I turned and walked away, never looking back. After going far away, his crying still echoed in my ears. After that, my body grew weaker day by day, illness worsening. The cancer in my body had progressed to the final stage. I refused all treatment. Because before deciding to livestream the surgery on Trantlanlan, I already knew I had cancer and didn't have long to live. And then, on an ordinary afternoon, I quietly left this world. Before leaving as the legal heir of the Zhang family, I donated all my assets, leaving not a single penny to Chuzwinian. At the moment I closed my eyes, I seemed to see my mother coming to greet me, still as gentle as ever, softly holding me in her arms, whispering in my ear, "Yan Yan, don't be afraid, Mom is here." If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to watch more. Thank you for listening to the story on Satisfying Recaps. Episodes coming up.